One day I'll figure out how to make these intros less dramatic. I'm actually going to be trying a new intro just to kind of, see what the hell works. Welcome to the Blank Canvas. This is a project by Plinko Solutions around AI and accessibility. Today, what we'll be covering is a good way of approaching market research with scraping. For those unfamiliar with scraping, highly recommend checking out the scraping series. This will be part of that. So what we'll be looking at today is YouTube. So before we were using Airtop, we also mentioned Apify. Apify was great with Twitter. Highly recommend when it comes to feeds specifically. I know when you're sticking within the free tiers, you get $5 free with the Apify, but Airtop depends on how many videos you're scraping. You also get 5,000 credits. So depending on how well you set up Airtop and its browser agent prompting, which I have done a series on as well, in the works, that will allow you to kind of understand how to use those free tiers to really generate really useful stuff with it. But if you're just looking to learn, when it comes to market research and being able to actually take basically like a playlist, say of typically 50 to 100 videos, usually the average. This one's from a good fellow Canadian friend of mine, Nick Sarayev, absolute genius when it comes to automation. I remember getting a shout out on one of his things. It was great. But I learned a lot from him. I highly recommend this series. If you want to check it out manually, highly recommend doing so. I did it on my other YouTube account, don't worry. But basically what I'd like to do here is I want to take that playlist. I want to head over to Apify. I'm going to look up YouTube transcript scraper. So you'll notice at the beginning of your free account, you'll have $5 of free credit. So you want to do the math, $7 for 1,000 results. You want to kind of make sense of the spend, right? So for us, we're going to see, this looks like it's just an individual video. We're going to find out if it works with playlists. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw that in. The run options I'll kind of keep the same. Save and start. So here's what's happening is the actual script of scraping is happening. Say that 10 times. But the actual middleware, which is basically the hardware, that's, wherever they have it, is running the actual script, which is going on the website, running the code to actually extract it and pull it apart, without you ever having to actually go into a terminal yourself, right? In fact, it went so fast that all you got to do is look at the output. You see that one field, pretty sure, okay, look at that. There's an error. Beautiful. So that means this is the wrong one. Part of the process too is going basically through the marketplace, playing around with these, because there's a few of them and you can only hope they work. If not, then we're going to see how this pans out. This one's a bit different, same kind of pricing, which is interesting, but I noticed they have it separated by the lines. So let me see if I can figure out how to separate these. You know what? All it took was some good old prompt engineering. So if you can see it, it's kind of, make the background a little easier here. What allows you to do basically, Cluely.com, shout out to it, as a language model. I fed it a prompt, which instead of taking a screenshot and kind of going through, I looked for the search mode and I had, how do I grab the individual URLs of this post? Reason being, I asked that is a question I need to ask to solve this wild puzzle of having to use no code to transcribe a big bunch of playlists, right? Like a big bunch of videos. So what that means is we got to head over to make.com, which is a no-code platform tool used to basically wire software together. And then from there. So what happened here is I spent the following hour and a half actually iterating, trying through this. And you'll notice very soon that I ended up taking a break, coming back to it, having meetings, jumping around, trying to figure it out. And this is kind of the nature of the process. It's learning to fly on the way down. And gratefully so, I found the way. Okay. Cut forward to the following day. Throw up the big camera. Got a fresh cut. This is a different day. Brother's birthday. So, I had a little bit prettier. The first half of this video was recorded yesterday when I was digging into how to do market research with Apify and pulling from YouTube and pulling transcripts without breaking things. So after doing some digging, I left yesterday kind of deflated because I couldn't figure out how to do it without breaking the YouTube API. But I know language models can do it. ChatGPT just gave me a limit on the output. So if I just ask a bunch of different language models, I'm like, hey, what's possible here? Seems like this one's struggling. Probably doesn't need deep search. This is research-based stuff, but Quen blockshit. That's Conf. Clem is Alibaba's Alibaba or AliExpress. I think it's AliExpress. Whichever one's the e-commerce one. That's their language model. Let's get a deep seek shot. I like to say when you're playing with different tools, it's important to kind of just try. You never really know. This one looks like it's trying. Yeah. So what I'm doing is trying to get the URL so I can load them into Apify. This one actually has some resources. Last time a language model gave me a bunch of links. These don't even work. That's a PHP link. I don't think these are real. Oh, this might be. This is just a summarizer though. Unlimited. Interesting. Okay. Shout out to these guys then. Let's see if we can do something here. See if we get into playlists. No, it doesn't want us to. Is there any resources? No, let me see. Still doesn't work here. I mean, let's try the PHP one. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm not gonna pull up the terminal. Sticking to the no code. What are free no code options? Right? This one here, look at that. I think that worked. Bloody hell, GenSpark might be the one. So here's the difference between GenSpark and these other ones. GenSpark is considered a browser agent. And this right here is a clear visual of the difference, right? Browser agents actually have the ability to interact with the web page in a way that a language model doesn't, right? I'm not even going to listen to the rest of this, to be honest. Let's tie the bow on this. So now that I have a full link, or full list rather, get head over here. I can choose to automate this piece, or I can actually just do it directly inside of the Apify platform. For our sake of purposes here, for speed, I'm just gonna, oh, that's wonderful. See how well this copies and pastes? I'm gonna switch to an account that's free so you guys can see how it works within the free limit. And that's it. This is really big on accessibility, right? Like you want to be able to confidently run through this, right? So this one is just the individual URL. I would like the list one, all right? Which I believe is Pinocchio, if I'm not mistaken. Let's pull that up. This is not that one. You're looking for the one that's $7. Pintos, is that the one? This is the one. Boom. Yeah, so I have all the list here. Go bulk wise, drop it all in. That's wonderful. Look at that. Now you could just like run it through here and then pull the dataset ID into here and then iterate it over the sheet. Or you can just run it and pull directly from here, right? So I should mention this $5 thing resets every month, right? So August 3rd, not too far away. I don't mind using it up. Even though I doubt it'll even creep there because this is per 1,000 leads. I'm only throwing in 68. So as you can see, the Apify actor is actually running in the background here. Going ahead, actually pulling through it. Giving me a lot of material that I can actually use. So this is really exciting. The next video will be kind of walking in how I'm tying this into make.com to create repurposed marketing assets, right? In this case, would probably be some sort of, utility package, starter kit, something I gotta marinate on. But yeah, this is, shout out to Nick Sarayev for this playlist. An amazing guy. Highly recommend just checking this out in general if you're new to the space. Microphone. I learned a lot from him. So got to give the shout out. We're almost done here, pulling up at 60. I can say thank you to Jen Spark and close that. Now I'll go over here. Beautiful. Now the output, let's see what it's looking like. Pulls the description, title, view count, keywords. I'm not seeing transcript, but I guess this gives me individual IDs that I can scrape the transcript for. Yeah, I think that's what this is, video ID, right? So video ID allows me to actually pull that. And it's 61 in total. Captions. Oh yeah, there's transcripts here. Yeah, this is a hefty file. I'm not going to be able to scroll through that. Oh yeah. GPT is going to have a fun time chunking this down. So yeah, tune in tomorrow as I walk you guys through kind of how to chunk this down, make sense of it, and break it into something useful. Till then, hope this fresh cut adjusts itself. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.